money then. But the interesting thing is this distribution, and the reason why Timmy Tdat and Daddy Owen are up in arms is because of how this money was distributed, and the fact that it was a flat 2,530 ya kutoa. So let's get back to this and perhaps put this into perspective again, because they now join us, how you arrived at distributing this 2,530 per artist.
Okay. We collected 118 million shillings in 2 months, right? Out of this 118 million, we deducted 30% to make sure, this was, we didn't deduct after, but it is the cost of collecting the money. Let me use, that is the right word. It was the cost of collecting the 118 million. So in net form, we had about 80 million shillings. Out of these 80 million shillings, 56% was for the author, composer, arranger, right? 22% was for the producers of sound recording. The other 22% was for performers of that kind of music and also audiovisual works. So once we got our 44%, by virtue of you being a member, remember in our distribution rules, it's very clear that we'll have different classes of distribution. There is a broadcast royalty which will be coming towards the end of the year. That one will purely be dependent on the logs or the airplays that each and every artist in Kenya has on all the stations that we have in Kenya. Now for this specific one, based on the constitution that our members actually passed in an AGM, they actually clearly say that they need a general distribution to cater for those artists that, one, they play their music, or their music might not be captured by the systems that we have. Secondly, to make sure that it was equitable, that each and every artist, by virtue of you being a member of MCSK, that you're entitled to, one, either voting, and number two, a royalty.
What percent did you distribute?
All of it.
No, what percentage? As in, out of the kitty, what percentage?
Out of the 44 million collected in 2 months, which has actually been the highest. I can.
Okay, by law, you need to distribute how much? Percentage, by law?
70%.
How much did you distribute?
70%.
Are you sure you distributed
Yes,
the whole figure you had?
the whole thing. Whatever you got, we gave it to the artist.
Okay.
Yes.
Everything you got.
Can the gap is here?
Yes.
That maybe he's also not getting. Having been privy to this organization from way back, from Poxy Pressure until now, there was a point a floodgate was opened. And I think in future we need to address it. Either they have a scientific way of distributing this general distribution, or distributing this 2,500 na kutoa, or they look at how do you become a member. So the problem started here. A floodgate was open.
Anyone can be a member.
Even you can
Today
sing
I
a
can be a
song
member,
and
yes.
register.
With your daughters and your brothers.
Some people,
And they'll be members.
yeah, some people use this gap.
Okay.
So unapata family moja ina watu 10.
They're all registered members.
Kila mtu anatoa ngoma moja moja moja. So you see that family of 10, today they are not complaining of 2,500 kwa sababu it is 2,500 times 10. They are not legit musicians.
Okay.
So I don't know how we can come up with the criteria, because at the end of the day, legally, a song is a song. I don't know what criteria us members and MCSK can come up with that can reduce the threshold of how to become a member. But that floodgate is the problem.
How many members do we have,
I think we have now about...
according to your kitu inaonyesha 13,000.
13,000 members of MCSK.
13,900.
13,000,
Should be
yes.
about 14,000.
Okay.
Yeah, but then there is another criteria as well.
Yes.
An artist who has been a member for not more than 1 year should not be given general distribution.
Yeah.
Then there are people who have not been
active.
Not active. They've applied for membership but not been approved.
Yes.
So I don't know if you gave it the whole. By the way, I know it's not sensational, but I don't have a problem with how they've distributed, because if I had 10 shillings and I have 10 people who have equal rights,
yes.
I'll give 1 shilling each.
Yes.
Now the problem is, who are these 10 people?
Yeah.
That is where the floodgate got messed up.
Okay.
In the general distribution.
The general distribution.
But if were it at...
Are they subscribing? Are you subscribing members of MCSK?
Yes.
What do you use to subscribe? A song?
You take your song, ID, and you become a member.
Just like that?
And there's a registration fee, of course.
Oh, there's registration fee.
So
okay.
that is the floodgate, which I can propose in future. From a managerial position, there should be a threshold.
There should be a verification.
Otherwise, anybody,
Okay.
including...
It should be verified.
Including if you recorded your cut and it sounded well,
You can be a
qualify
member
to
of
be a
MCSK.
song.
Okay.
That is where the problem
Let
is.
me hear from Timmy.
Me, first of all, I come from a point of view as in sijui niweze setiaje, yani kama si Mambuenya tungekuwa tumetoa noma yadi. Nataka na represent watu wangu wa street. Unanipata eh? First of all, ukisema hiyo do watu 13 nikidivide by hiyo kitu haikuji hiyo 2500. Number 1. Number 2, ukisema kila mtu alikuwa na distribute inaitwaje hiyo ni general ndio mtu anapata hiyo 25 na 30 ya kutoa. Kuna mtu jana amenitumia inbox ni 27 simu yangu huko nje 27 bob ametumia 27 amenitumia. Sasa najiuliza hii 27 unaitoa hata aje, ama ni ndio umetumiwa ikusaidie kufacilitate transaction next, sielewi. Unanipata? Naona hapa hivi kuna tumetoka kwa mazoeano ikapanda kidogo kwa madharau. Unanipata? Sababu huwezi tumia msee do kwanza iko chini ya do aliregister nayo. Niliregister 2012 3000. Sawa? Mimi nimetumia 2500.
Is this the first time you're receiving something from MCSK?
I received 150,000 2014 when we released Welewele, and it was everywhere na hatukupata hata do yoyote. So Kenya ilifanya tukapata hii do, tulienda kwa Twitter tukaambiwa kamini hapa kwa ofisi.
Really?
Tukaandikiwa check tukatoka nayo. Sasa sijui mbona lazima ngoja sijui mbona tunafaa kufika level ya kutoa noma
ndio mpate kitu,
ndio tupate kitu wakati tunafanya muziki tu, kazi inafaa ikue ina flow vizuri. Sijui mbona inafaa ikue hivyo.
Did that really happen? Did that really happen? They walizusha, then they were called to the office and they were paid, because that's not how it should happen.
That has been happening. We have
no that happen.
Can I explain this?
Yes.
Can I explain this?
Yes.
So what has been happening with our Kenyan artists? It's very simple. We have a system, and this system, what it does, if your music is not on our system, number one, it puts it on a section of it called an identified works.
Unidentified
works.
Okay.
Yes. So once, like the way he complained, we have to call him, and now once we upload his works onto the system,
okay,
it's now the system now recognizes and says, hey, by the way, Timmy Tdat has got so many play counts.
Okay,
hey.
but we didn't have him on this other side.
But we didn't have him on this other side.
My question is,
let me just finish, then you ask. Yes.
But we didn't have him on this other side.
Yes.
So we take these play counts again and we factor them again, and automatically the money that was allocated for unidentified works is now applied to this particular artist, and that is why he got his 150,000 shillings.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Please.
That's a good explanation.
Let me ask.
Yes.
Utasemaje muziki yangu iko area ya unidentified na hiyo ni 2014 na mimi nimeregister 2012 nikalipa tao yangu 3, and by then hiyo hata ni do mingi kuliko yenye nalipa Kenya. Nimeichanga nikaenda, ilikuwa somewhere pale bazaar, nikalipa hiyo do yangu 2012. So nikapewa hiyo ni member, kwanza ilikuwa na text juu how long ku approve ndio ina come through. So 2012 niko approved member. Utaniambiaje by 2014 sijulikani na vitu zangu haziko and I have to complain?
How is that possible?
Okay, what happens
Yes.
when an artist comes to MCSK and registers as a member, they don't later on come again to update their records on the new music that they have
produced.
So
they let that work to you people to identify, oh, kuna hii ngoma ya, so let's update it here.
Yes,
that's
and
what,
it should be proactive from the artists themselves. They know this is my product. I need to take it to this supermarket. That's called MCSK, for them to be able to put it on a shelf, for it to be monitored, for me to get royalties.
Okay.
But if they don't do that, number one, they miss out on the royalty. I know of so many artists. I'll give you a very good example. Maybe he might be one of them, the people who might have complained. Calligraph Jones.
Yes.
When
actually,
he registered,
among the first people to complain.
thank you, and I saw him. Yeah. So Calligraph Jones, if you go to the system, the first CD that he actually brought to MCSK was what is being monitored, right?
Okay.
But he later on he has produced over 5 albums, but he has not made a point of him coming to MCSK and update those works so that he can actually earn them.
So monitor.
Yes, yes, yes. So you'll notice that if I go to a monitoring system, the people or the musicians, the international musicians who have actually uploaded works as far as Tanzania, I can see them top there. That's why, for example, Diamond would actually be number 1 currently And then number 2, frankly speaking, would be Nyashinsky. Reason being,
They come and update.
They come and update.
Okay.
But the rest of the artists,
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
So if I was to do a distribution, if this money, 44 million, was to do a distribution,
Where will it go first? The
it
top.
will
I
go
have-
to the top artists.
Up,
But I
up.
think for the purpose of this discussion,
Yes.
I think he needs to define well so that also Timmy that gets it.
Yes.
We are talking about general. We are not talking about the broadcast like umechezwa marangapi kwa radio.
Okay.
Where
Because
he's
that's
coming
what's
from,
monitored.
where he's coming from ni umechezwa marangapi.
Okay.
Then that will be. But for general ni kama venye anasema as per constitution venye members walipass. If you are 10 people and there is 10 shillings,
We'll
general
divide
equal
it by
distribution
10.
requires kila mtu aende na bob.
But the question is, how do you then get 14, get 27 shillings, and
Yes.
others get
That
2,500?
one I don't. That one I
No.
don't. If that
Yes.
one he needs to tell. But
Yes.
if they gave 2,530 equally to every member,
Yes.
that's okay. My problem is
Yes.
based on the general. We now need to move to this threshold and floodgate so that what
We will talk about the floodgate and how
do
to
you
mitigate
qualify
that.
to be a
Yes,
member. That's
yes.
when we'll say
But
this.
let's just get this out of the way because people need to understand. He says he got an SMS. There's someone who got 27 shillings.
27 shillings.
Yes, and it's general. Everyone should get equal. How do others get 2,500 and others 27? I had one person say he got 14. This Stivo Simple Boy, he got 14 shillings. You know how do they get? What's that discrepancy?
First of all, this Stivo guy is not a member of MCSK, so there is no way
You would have sent him money.
you would have sent him money in the first
Okay,
place.
okay. Now I want to go
This
back to.
27 shillings guy, is he a member of MCSK?
I think he's a member.
He thinks
He thinks.
Trust
We
me.
need to
No,
know.
no, wait.
But if he's not, he wouldn't have gotten
he wouldn't
money.
have gotten money.
Yes.
So I know
He
people
is,
have.
wait, he is a member because he actually sent me the message.
Yes, that he
Yes,
received.
the difference ya message yake na yangu yake ni 27 bob, yangu ni 25.30. Sawa.
Okay. How is that possible?
Kabla ujibu hiyo please, nataka turudi pale kwa kuna hii place yenye unasema daddy ana need kurudi kwa ofisi
Yes.
update.
Yes.
Sawa. I think MCSK inaweza kuwa inachukua advantage ya hao watu wenye wajaenda kwa
Hajarudi.
update because it is up to you kuniambia ni aje una need ku update. Mimi naenda kutoa wapi tutorials za kujua sasa na need ku update from manini nini na watu wako mtaani wanajua ni aje na need kwenda ku register, nikisha register imeapproviwa na need ngoma zangu ndio hizo and stuff. Lakini sasa hao sasa wanajua watu watafanya makosa na hata shasema I know someone like Calligraph Jones 5 albums ajazi update. Unafanya nini? Ule msanii ajui ana need ku update. Ajui, so hii ni advantage inachukuliwa
Because at the end of the day,
Ido,
there's some
wacha niwekwe
collection.
hapa. Eh.
There's some collection because you got a collection once it was updated. What happens to this money that is collected and is unclaimed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's an,
The members. No.